Welcome back to the ARCA Menards series preview show for this week at Watkins, Glen. I'm Casey Campbell, and that is ARCA Menards series PR director Charlie Krall. Hello, how are you?
All right, Casey, don't mess this one up.
Yeah. Anything happened last week?
We had a great race at Colorado National Speedway with Joey East scoring his career first victory.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was
cool.
How about that? It's been a while since I've seen, the either the Sunrises or the BMRs. It's good to see one of those teams get out there. Yeah, good for Joey East.
196th different driver to score a win in the West Series. How about that?
That is pretty cool. Good for Joey East.
Yep.
Yeah, there are a few things happening in Winchester though.
Really? I'm not aware of any of that.
Well, you were covering the West race, so.
Yeah, I was busy painting the walls of my office, Case. How do you like it?
Yeah.
How's that?
It looks good.
The original artwork by me. All that I did all the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So, yeah. Totally
So,
revamped my office, prior to that race at Colorado National. I'm totally unaware of anything that happened at Winchester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get down to the thing. There were some things that did happen at Winchester, two of them in particular. From a series perspective, how do you guys think it went from obviously the two biggest topics of conversation, which has been a lot of things with people saying from social media, writers and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll let you tell me what you think the topics of conversation are, and then we'll discuss them.
All right, your thoughts on the Taylor Gray, Daniel Dye incident, Nick Sanchez. What is the series saying about that?
So this is a pretty cut and dry situation, Casey. So we normally don't get involved in any type of penalties to drivers for actions on the racetrack, particularly after a race is over. If we do ever penalize somebody, it's generally for retaliation on the racetrack, and it's generally done right then and there. Okay. That being said, this incident is under review by our competition folks. I think the one big difference between this incident and other previous incidents that Taylor unfortunately is on probation for the incident at Daytona during the test. Yeah. That's the only thing that kind of I think changes. We've monitored their social media traffic. We haven't seen anything inflammatory or anything like that. So we're just going to take a look at some video. And our competition folks will make a determination. But yeah, under review, and that's really all I can say about it at this point. We haven't really fleshed it out other than started to collect the evidence, so to speak. So,
yeah. The Ty Gibbs Corey Heim deal. I know those two have. I know we've talked about this before. It's this rivalry between these two guys is really kind of inflammatory and kind of all that stuff perpetuated the last few weeks. We're trying to find the right word to say that. But that was an interesting way of Corey bumped Ty to get the win at Elko, and then Corey had contact. No wait, Ty spun Corey, and what was from that perspective? What are you guys saying about that?
Right. So as far as we're concerned, we've got nothing to do with any of that until it boils over. We're all for a heated rivalry. We're all for drivers racing hard and not giving an inch. If that's the way you choose to race, that's the way you choose to race. We haven't seen anybody cross a line, so to speak, to this point. Yeah, it's something, Casey, this is something that we keep an eye on with all of our competitors every race. We want to make sure that they're racing, we want aggressive racing. And at times that leads to overly aggressive racing. And at times that leads to, people doing some things that we're all pretty certain they wish they could take back in that moment. We haven't seen any of that so far with Ty or with Corey. We're going to let them race. We're going to let them run for this championship. They know who their competition is. You know, the 18 knows he's racing the 20, and the 20 knows he's racing the 18, and they're going to run each other pretty hard. And um, you know, as far as them being best friends, you know, we're not the friend police. You know, so we're there to put on a race and make sure everyone's got an even playing field, and you know, make sure the rules are being enforced equally across the board. But yeah, we're not there to make sure that everybody's are friends with one another. And um, you know, while I think it's a shame that everybody can't be friends, it also leads to some pretty good storylines throughout the course of a season. And I think this is one that's going to probably carry on once these two start racing on Saturdays and Sundays down the road. So, you know, we are of the mindset that, you know, the racing that we're seeing between Ty and Corey is once in a generation type stuff. You know, we're watching history being made every time Ty, you know, takes a win, and every time Corey stops him from taking a win. So, you know, we're just going to let them two have at it, and if and when we determine that there's been a line that's been crossed, we will step in, and um, hopefully we won't have to do that. And we haven't seen anything that even leads us to believe that we will at this point. So,
Okay. So
all good. Did you buy that?
I did. A lot of people, you know, I'm sure, I know you don't watch and particularly watch a lot of
Oh,
comedy.
I've watched them all today, Casey. Thank you for pointing them out to me. Yeah, you put some people on my radar screen. They're going to be sending you thank you cards.
I'm sure that I'm pretty sure you've heard the comments made about the series regarding the two incidents and stuff. And
Right. So I'm gonna step away from my official duties as ARCA propaganda minister, and I'm gonna step into race fan mode for a moment. So, all right. So let's think about it. Let's say these commentators get what they want, and ARCA suddenly ceases to exist. Instead of having what happened at Winchester in front of 2,000 people or 2,500 people on MAV TV. Now, all of a sudden, that's happening in front of 40,000 people at Bristol Motor Speedway in a truck race. You know, there's a reason why developmental leagues exist, and this is it. They're here to learn how to race, and they're here to learn what mistakes they really don't want to make at a higher level. Would we prefer to not have heated tempers? Yeah, we would obviously prefer not to have that, but that's what this platform is for, Casey. It's here for drivers to learn how to do this. That's what a developmental league is. That's why AAA baseball exists. That's why single A baseball level exists, because these players don't know how to play at a major league level yet. And you don't want to, you could take the most talented kid in the world and throw him on the New York Yankees or the Chicago Cubs and say, okay, you're ready to go play Major League Baseball. Now it's time for the World Series. You think he's going to perform at his very peak, the very first game he ever suits up? I don't. You want to get these guys to get some experience, and you want to get them to learn racecraft, and that's what the ARCA Menards series is for. Yeah, we're all about, you know, the career racer who wants to come, and, you know, Greg Van Alst. Here's a guy who had a fantastic race, finished second on a limited budget, and no one's talking about him because they're all upset that, you know, the two teenage phenomenons ran into one another. Well, yeah, that's what this level is for, but it's also for guys like Greg Van Alst to come and race here because A, this is what he wants to do, and B, this is what he can afford to do. And we need to not lose sight of that just because, you know, some internet commentators think they've got this all figured out, because they don't have it all figured out. ARCA has a very specific role in the development of young drivers. Casey, I looked it up so you don't have to. There were 110 drivers that competed in NASCAR National Touring Series races at Daytona to start the season. How many of them do you think had previous ARCA experience?
I have no idea.
99 of them.
Really?
Yeah. How many of them do you think won on the ARCA Menards Series platform? Over 70. Yeah. Over 70 of them have won. There's a reason why ARCA is positioned where it is. It's a very important stepping stone. Yeah. Do we have things that we want to address and want to fix? Absolutely. And there There's a team of people, Casey, who is here every single day. They're still I'm here sitting here talking to you in my home office, getting ready to make dinner for this crazy Italian woman who lives here with me. But you know her, yeah, you know her. She likes you, Casey.
The one
But
that want, yeah, your
right,
say.
right. Is that what she is? All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll let her call herself that for today. But in any case, I'm already home, but there's still four people back at that office they work all day, every day. This is what they do. This is what they live and breathe. And to me, it's insulting to read or listen to some of this commentary online about people who have never been in our garage area, who have never reached out to me for comment, who have never talked to any of our drivers, who have never talked to any of our teams, to sit there and say, well, ARCA doesn't have a place in the motorsports world anymore. I think that's absolute BS. And if this wasn't a family show, Casey, I would have used much stronger language than that. I actually do think it's BS because we do play a very important role. Yeah, there are problems we need to address, and we're addressing them head on every single day. But to say that we don't belong, that's just out and out wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that race this weekend? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
no, next weekend. Let's talk about Watkins
this coming
Glen.
weekend. Watkins Glen. First time that you got. When's the last time you guys were supposed to be at Watkins Glen?
So the last race we ran there was 2001. It's the only other race we've ever run there. We were supposed to race there last year. And how about this? When our 2020 schedule was released way back in 2019, the moment that it was released, I was sitting in the parking lot at Watkins Glen International. I was so excited. I went to the very first Bud at the Glen back in 1986 when I was a kid. Awesome. I've loved that racetrack ever since. I can't wait to get back. We've got a 27 car entry list, Casey. It's going to be a fantastic race. It really is. It's as good of an entry list as we've had all season long. We've got a lot of interlopers. Austin Hill's coming. Brandon Jones is coming.
Say that.
Andy Jankowiak's coming back, the home state favorite. Yeah, it's going to be a great race. I'm looking forward to it. Live on FS1 Friday, 6 p.m. It's going to be fantastic. I hope everyone can tune in.
There's going to be some other guys. Sam Mayer's going to be in the race.
Sam Mayer, yeah. You owe him some chicken nuggets, don't you? Yeah, Jack Wood. Jack Wood will be back in the 21. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty Riley. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty steep entry list. Chase Briscoe, who won the West race out at Sonoma earlier in the season, he's on the entry list. So, yeah, it's going to be really good, Casey. I urge everybody to tune in. Don't let the naysayers turn you away from this stuff, folks. It's not the doom and gloom. Look, we're just out here putting on a car race every weekend. We're people who love the sport. We love it as much as you all do. We want you to come and enjoy it. We don't want you to get hung up on the negativity that's out there, because you buy into this stuff, Casey, and it just perpetuates itself. These folks are seriously unhappy people. It makes me sad to read some of that commentary, because I can tell they love the sport, but their perception is wrong on it. It's not all doom and gloom. It's really not. It's really, really not. You take a story like Greg Van Alst, a guy who comes on a shoestring budget, who just wants to come and compete at this level with guys like Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim, and he comes out and has a chance to win the race, and you're talking about the series needs to go away. It just makes me sad. Andy Jankowiak's another great.
Yeah,
he's a pizza delivery driver.
Yeah,
and he's doing this. I was a pizza delivery driver in college, Casey. I couldn't figure out how to pay for a race car. He's done it, and he's doing very, very well. These are the types of stories that I think we should be talking about, not the supposed doom and gloom that's following us around everywhere we're going. Look at that race at Colorado National the other night. Last year, that race ran with 11 cars in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
This year, we had 18 cars. That's almost double. Almost double. And we don't get any credit for that. We're working hard every day to make this stuff happen. Hey, pal, I can smell my dinner's burning. What else you got for me real quick?
I think that's going to be, I think that's all I got for you, but I wanted to make sure that
this might be the best Casey Campbell podcast of all time.
This might be. And, but Charlie, thank you, because I wanted to get, there's been a lot of stuff that was out there this week, and I wanted to make sure that I could get you on to kind of, defend the series a little bit
Well,
because
I invite the ARCA is a bloodbath folks to come to one of our races one time, meet some of the people that work on these race cars, meet the people who put these races on. Seriously, folks, it's not all doom and gloom. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, even when it's wrong. Um, but seriously, come to one of our races, meet the people in person, meet these kids who are out there driving their hearts out, trying to earn a ride in the upper levels. I mean, it's hard to believe how much pressure a kid like Daniel Dye is already under. He's 16 years old. He's in his fourth race
yeah,
in this level. If he doesn't make Casey, if he doesn't succeed here, what happens? He's done. Right. There's no sec. These kids are already under intense pressure. Yeah, some of them are going to make mistakes, and some of them are going to run into one another every now and then. That happens. And when you're a teenager, your emotions sometimes get the best of you because you're not a mature adult like me, Case, right?
right.
So, yeah, I appreciate everyone's thoughts and opinions on all this, but I encourage you, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about it. I talk to you about it every week.
Yeah, that's why I invite you on to talk about this. So,
Right, baby.
all right.
All right, I'm gonna go flip my chicken.
All right, sounds good.
All
Thanks.
right, thanks, Casey. Talk.